Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic. This topic was actually inspired by someone that reached out to me on TikTok, and it's all about balancing energy in friendship or relationship or marriage. Now let's begin. You see, this topic is something that almost everyone experience this issue, but nobody knows how to put it into words. It's all about energy in your relationship or marriage. Now, ask yourself, why do most friendship leave us feeling energized, happy, and while others leave us feeling completely drained? How do we now celebrate a healthier or more balanced relationship? You see, a relationship is supposed to involve like an exchange of energy. That does not mean everything has to be 50-50 every single day, because sometimes one person needs more support than the other person. Now, the real problem is when the relationship becomes permanently one-sided. For example, you have a friend that is always calling you when they need something, and when you need something in return, everywhere goes silent. Now, what does balancing of energy really mean? It simply means paying attention to what each person is bringing into the relationship. For example, the time, the attention, the emotional support, the communication, the encouragement, and the efforts. A healthy relationship doesn't require like identical efforts every day. No, it doesn't. It requires you to reciprocate over time. For example, if my friend is going through a difficult period, I might give 80% while they give 20%. And it's okay, because at that point in time, they are very low in energy. Now, this doesn't have to do with money, because balancing of energy, most people think is all about money. No, it's all about your time, your efforts, your contribution. But remember, if that your friend is always giving 20%, after some months, after some years, after days have gone by, and they're still giving you that 20%, eventually you're going to resent that friends, those set of friends. You're going to resent them. Balancing energy means you must reciprocate, not necessarily equal efforts. And that's all it is. How do you balance me? The next question I need you to ask yourself today: how do you know if your relationship is draining you? How can you figure it out? How can you figure if you're giving away too much of your energy? Now, let's look at the first sign. If you ever find yourself thinking, how can I make them happy, or how do I stop them from being upset? You're trying to regulate someone's emotions all the time. Or you find yourself saying things like, what can I say so that they don't feel angry or offended? Another sign is that you're always initiating the calls, the check-in. You make plans. You're the one that make plans to go out. And when you stop, it's like your relationship has disappeared. Now, this is a little bit of a story time, because I was once that friend. I used to have this friend that every time she needs help, she calls me all the time. Can you help me do this? Can you help me fill this form? Can you help me do this application? Can you help me do this printout? Can you help me do this? Can you help me do that? And one day, after I think a couple of years had gone by, and I asked her for a favor, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I cannot. Then I had a light bulb moment. I was like, really? And that was the day everything about this friendship ended, because I felt used. And yes, if you're in a one-sided relationship, you're going to feel used, and with time, you're going to resent them. Now, let's look at another sign. You don't feel like yourself around this person. You find yourself being someone else. You're not free. For example, you constantly monitor your words, your feeling, or you try to make someone live by someone's approval. That's not friendship. You're supposed to be free, because freedom is your birthright. You can't be around people that every time you're going to watch what you say, watch how you dress, No, that's being in prison. You're in prison if you always seek somebody's approval. Now, that's something that is worth examining when you go back to your quiet space and journal the kind of friends you have around you. How do they make you feel? Now, a good question is, can I care without overgiving in a relationship or in a marriage? Absolutely. Yes, you can. But you must learn to develop strong boundaries. Boundaries doesn't mean you don't care about them. It simply means I care about you, but I have to take care of myself. You can listen to a friend without becoming their therapist or their pastor. You can love without becoming available 24 hours. Sometimes we confuse being needed with being loved. Those are two different scenarios. You see, overgiving your energy doesn't help in a relationship or a friendship or a marriage. If you constantly rescue someone, they might become very dependent on you. And in turn, you might become exhausted and resentful because it's not balanced. Also, check in your friend circle. Any relationship where one person talks about their problems but never asks you, how do you feel? How are things going on in your family? How are you able to get that promotion? Pay attention. Pay attention to patterns rather than the conversation. You see, everyone has moments when they need to be heard, because we all have down times in life. You need to be heard. You need to be given assurance. But if every conversation becomes about them, there are some people, everything is about them and their experiences, and they never ask you, how do you feel? Continuously, you're being ignored. Now, that's not balanced. If you find yourself in such a situation, that's not right. Now, how do you respond to those kind of people? You tell them things like, hey, I'm here for you though, okay? But also, I need to take space to process what is going on with me. Because if you let them, they're going to tell you the story of their problem, their husband, their children, their grandparents, their great-grandparents. But they never ask you how you're feeling. You have to tell them, hey, I care about you, but I have to take some space for me. I need to take a break. You see, a healthy friend should be able to hear you out and hear how you feel without making you feel guilty. Two people can have completely different personalities or different energy levels and still have a healthy relationship. One person might be introverted, the other person might be extrovert. You see, balancing energy does not mean becoming identical with that person. No, it means I understand my friend or my partner. I understand your needs. And I can make reasonable adjustments. I can do that. That's what balancing of energy is all about. If my friend needs an alone time, I shouldn't interpret it as rejection. I should see it as, okay, both parties feel respected at that period of time, because sometimes we need our space. You see, going forward, what you need to do when you feel the relationship is going one-sided or the marriage is going one-sided, don't just cut them off. Study their patterns. How often are they like parasites to you? Study their patterns. Now, after you study the patterns, you have to communicate this issue with them. Now, watch their reaction, because their response tells a lot about them. If they listen to you, if they take responsibility, then make an effort, and also if they make an effort to change, then that's a great sign. That means the person is willing to make changes. But watch out, because sometimes they may dismiss you. They're going to be manipulative or make you feel guilty for having needs. Now, here's the story time. I used to have a friend too. I was going through a very dark moment that period. This friend always called me, asked me for money. Every time it's all about, send me this, I want to guide this, I want to buy this, can you send me this, can you help me pay my rent, But when I went through my dark moments, she was never there to be found. And one day I called her up and I said, hey, you see, I'm very disappointed that all these years, and when I say years, I've known her as far as 2015 or 2014, and it's the same pattern. And I told her, I said, listen, all this while you always call me, ask me for this or that, but when I needed help, you ignored me. And she became very aggressive. And she's like, oh, you're the strong one, you're gonna pull through. Really? And after that conversation, I hit the block. I blocked her. And it's over 2 years now. She remains blocked. Because I hate users. I hate users. I had another friend. I've known this friend since, I think for 5 years. And it's the same thing. The period of when she needed help, she always called me, tell me her sub story, tell me everything that is bothering her. I hold her, pray with her, was there for her, give her that encouragement. But the day I needed this girl to be by my side, she was nowhere to be found. And I asked her, I said, hey, you never asked me how my how the issue I was supposed to have the appointment. You never asked me how we went through. And you know what she told me? She said, well, everybody is working, everybody is busy. And I asked her, I said, but all through when you went through stress and all those your downtime, I was there. And she got very aggressive. And you know me, I'm going to hit the block button. I don't waste time. I do not waste any time. Because when you go through the same patterns of people all around you, you're going to wake up. It's going to trigger you to wake up and see people for who they are. If you have friends, families, relationship, marriage that you're in a parasitic relationship, I want you to wake up today and block them and move on. Yes, that's what I did. And that's why I encourage women on their healing journey. You have to pay attention. Pay attention to who is around you, who is listening, who is balancing your energy. When you journal, you pay attention, you write, because you remember when you start writing, your brain opens up to a lot of things you've even forgotten. Learn to block people that are using you. Block them and move on. You don't even owe them an explanation. Never abandon yourself to maintain any relationship, any marriage, or any friendship. You can become compassionate without becoming, self-sacrificing. You can love with strong boundaries. The healthiest relationship or marriage out there is when both parties, they are open, that they can express their needs. I can tell you, hey, you hurt me, and you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it again. Oh, maybe I was overwhelmed. You acknowledge your faults. There's some relationships out there, you cannot even tell your partner they hurt you, because they're going to gaslight you, or they're going to manipulate you. Lastly, before I close for today, you see, balancing people's energy is not about keeping scores. No. Always ask yourself this burning question: do I feel valued here? Do I feel valued in this relationship? Do I feel valued in this marriage? Do I feel valued in this friendship? Can I be myself here? Can I say no when it doesn't fit me? You see, this is all about awareness. Self-awareness. You ask yourself burning questions like, can I give and receive? Or am I the only one giving? Am I the only therapist in this relationship? Am I the only pastor in this relationship? Or ask yourself questions like, when I communicate my needs, do I feel respected? Sometimes you have friends that you tell them your problem, they go out there and publicize it. These answers tells you about the health of your relationship or your marriage. If it's not healthy, cut it off. You see, any woman that has gone through trauma, abuse, narcissistic relationship, domestic violence, you need to hear this message today. This message is for you. Because on your journey, you don't need to be codependent on parasites. You need to have your own voice and never dim yourself because of any friendship, any marriage or any relationship. It must be balanced. Ask yourself from today, the people I have in my circle, my family, my friends, my marriage, do they balance my energy or are they parasites? Thank you once again for watching. If this video resonates with you, please subscribe, share with a lady out there that needs to hear this message. And I'll see you in my next video. Take care.